What's up world, welcome to my channel. I want to talk to you today about why you should not buy a car anytime soon unless you really need a car and you just don't have one. If you have any kind of car, whether it's old, new, whatever, just don't do anything with it. Don't buy another car yet, because right now is a terrible time to buy a car. Right now the cars are way too overpriced, just like anything else out there, but there has to be a correction that is coming, because that bubble is about to pop, and that's gonna be really ugly. Because a lot of people are borrowing money to buy cars that they just can't afford to pay off. Just like it used to be back in 2007, 2008, during the housing market bubble. When it popped, so many people that borrowed that money that they couldn't afford to pay back ended up foreclosing, ended up on the streets, and just miserable. The same thing might happen in the car industry if it continues going that way. So I want to give you a quick example over here by showing you what it looks like to buy a Kia K5 today. Less than 2 years ago, the price of this Kia K5 2021 model and 2022 models brand new used to be $22,000 to $23,000. This is now went up to $25,000 first of all. Now as soon as you start building the car for yourself, it adds another $1,000 on top of it, so that means that the starting price on this vehicle is already $26,000, not even $25,000. If you want to make any changes, if you want to build this car to your liking, let's say you want a GT line or EX or GT, you're of course gonna pay $29,000 and even $32,500, which is an insane amount of money for a vehicle that is just, I mean, it's a nice looking vehicle, but again, it's just a car. In the end of the day, it's a bunch of metal and plastic, cheap stuff for the most part. Everything is built really cheap these days, not to last. But let's say you want to go for the most basic. Look at the financing interest rate right now. Less than 2 years ago, this was a zero. You had a 0% financing option. Now you don't have that option anymore. And the longer you want to finance for, of course, the more your interest rate will be. So paying 5.49% on a vehicle that is going to cost you $25,000, $26,000, even if you're putting, let's say, $5,000 down, you're still going to be paying $334 a month on a 75-month loan. And you're actually going to be paying $25,050 over the next 75 months, right? Because that's your payments. Plus, let's not forget the $5,000 that we just put as a down payment. And you're actually going to be paying $30,000 on a vehicle that is worth $25,000 today, which is actually worth like $22,000, $23,000 at most. So you're overpaying almost $10,000 for a vehicle today. And this is why it doesn't make sense to buy right now. Now, if I go and look at a GT line, which is a used one, right? It actually has some mileage on it, 11,000 miles already, and it's a 2022, so it's a year older model. It's starting at $34,995, which is $35,000. Let's look at how much a brand new GT line is after everything. Let's say even if I want to modify it a little bit, I'm gonna pay less money. It's actually gonna cost me $28,190 plus $1,000 for shipping, minus $5,000 down payment. I'm gonna be paying way less. This is gonna be way more expensive than $35,000. You're gonna be paying over $40,000 for a vehicle that is barely worth $30,000. So definitely not worth it. And look at all those options over here. GT line, $38,000 for this car, $38,000 for this one, $36,000, $35,000. So what's happening is when you're buying a used car, you're basically paying for the availability of the car so that you're able to drive it off the lot today. If you really need that, and do you think that it's worth extra $5,000 to $10,000 to overpay for a used car because it's available today, rather than ordering a brand new one that's actually customized to your liking and delivered to you personally for less money? Even if you're going to wait for a few months, it still makes more sense to order a brand new one rather than buying a used one because of all this craziness. The shortage of parts and materials caused a shortage of supply, and that shortage of supply created a huge, insane demand for cars. You're always better off in terms of money, in terms of living on a budget, in terms of being frugal and saving up and becoming financially independent. The idea is that you need to have as little amount of payments as possible on your shoulders. You already have a house payment or rent, you have groceries, you have bills to pay, you have insurance, now you have a car payment on top of everything. So instead of having this car payment, why not pay it off in a few years and drive for a few years without the car payments, instead of continuously leasing it out and always forever renting a car, never really owning this car, because lease is rent. of a car. After paying all this money for this car, you're just gonna give it away. Why not pay all that same amount of money, maybe a little bit more, but it's now your car. So you can now continue driving it. If you take good care of it, you can continue driving it for a few years without any payments at all, which means you'll be saving a shit ton of money. Or at least you can sell that car and make a lot of that money back. Depending on the type of car you have, on the make and model, you can always resell it and gain at least 50% of your money back, at least. Remember, with lease, you will never get anything back. All this money is gone, just like when you're renting out a place, that money is all gone to your landlord. If you're buying a house and you're paying your own mortgage, you're actually putting this money into your house. It's the money that is going into your house, into your equity, that you will later on be able to withdraw. You'll be able to either take the equity out to buy something else, or you will be able to sell the house and get that money back. All the money that you put into it, you'll be able to get it back. So it's like you're putting money aside for a savings account that is actually has a really good potential of growing into something huge. So many people bought houses for $100,000, $200,000 that are now worth $500,000, $600,000, and even $700,000, and even in the millions. It's insane. Or you can keep renting cars and houses and never owning anything and always paying, always having payments, never leaving financially free. Please like and subscribe to my channel to get more content like this, and I will see you in another video. Make smart decisions.